What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the 2016 EP by Brotha Lynch. Basically, this project is called Bullet Maker and it came out in the winter of 2016. So I wanted to get to this project. This is a project I've wanted to review for quite some time. I kind of look after it. I originally thought that this Brotha Lynch album was on Tech Nine's Strange Music label just because the Strange Music chain is on this album cover, and I kind of thought, oh, this is another package that he did with Tech Nine. But Brotha Lynch had left Tech Nine's label, but I wanted to see what was up with this project. It's another nice one. He kind of took a little bit of a break between 2013 and 2016. As of this moment, his 2013 album, Manable Lecter, is still his most recent album, but I would have to say, Brotha Lynch has done a number of projects between collaboration albums and EPs and stuff like that he's kind of done. So this is just another one that was kind of amongst that fold, and I definitely wanted to get to it. And it's a good thing because this is a pretty excellent EP here. Basically, like the vast majority of this project, I'm not really sure if there was a single for it or much promotion, but I look after it. It's still quite the quality project here. Vintage horrorcore, some West Coast kind of beats, and this is just an overall excellently produced project that just did a lot of things right. And it's just an easy kind of pickup if you're a fan of Brotha Lynch Hung, and I definitely recommend it. So this is just kind of something that just soars, just has a lot of good skill set about it. Just an easy kind of vivid album with a lot of good just manifesto about it. Just typical kind of Brotha Lynch, but this works so damn well that this is kind of the sort of stuff like this is mid 2010s Brotha Lynch. So just being able to say that it's relevant to the times, he still sounds relevant in these particular type aspects, and this is so effortless just the way it kind of happens. It's just a good kind of feeling as far as that kind of went, just to kind of get the quality of it. So I'd have to say, because because I'm not really sure if there's promotion on this particular project, I'm just going to go ahead and recommend the 4 songs out of 5 I recommend. So minus the intro and outro, there's 7 songs on here minus the intro and outro. There's 7 songs on here, and minus the intro and outro, there would be 5 songs, and out of those 5 songs, I wound up recommending to you 4. So the only real song I don't recommend on this project is just Your Brains, which just basically had like a pretty cruddy beat, and that was like the only real one. I think it was trying to be like a kind of manic city stepping out type tune, but I just think the schizo-ness of that particular song was just a little bit kind of unfettered. It just didn't quite work as well as it needed to. I like the concept of getting some kind of city stepping, kind of Brotha Lynch Hung type songs, but that one just wasn't a good variation of it. But these other songs are just great. So I just would have to say I Almost Got Away With It is a really nice one. This is kind of a horrific stepping as of a song, I would have to say. It's just some frosty night fare, definitely, and it's just an easy outing highlight. I definitely like the appeal of this one. This one just really feels like a wintry kind of song. I Almost Got Away With It just has like a real wintry type appeal. This is a really kind of frosty song. This really kind of feels biting. This feels like the cold is just biting, like December, January. This really feels like December, January, February, where the cold is just very biting and frosty and that type of stuff. Just a good one to kind of have for like some step out sense. It's kind of interesting kind of get it. It definitely has a horrific type tone. Just another kind of shrill kind of one that just feels real ominous. But I like the concept of just the pizzazz about this one. Just a very nice one. And I would say Bullet Maker is definitely a hit song also. This is kind of a frenetic, kind of morose piano beat, I would have to say. It's just vintage Brotha Lynch, I would have to say, definitely. And it's just a brooding, kind of flashy horrorcore bop. So this one's definitely a highlight. Just so many songs on this project are just full-blown excellent. Just top-notch, bell of the ball type stuff like he usually kind of does and such. There's just some good moments. These are just easy kind of highlights that just ooze with character and just overall appeal that just has a lot of vivid, kind of sonically pleasing type efforts as far as that kind of goes. So these are just some nice ones. Sleepless Nights is a pretty good one also. This is kind of a deep, brooding, kind of depressive type beat, I would have to say, and it has loads of appeal, and it's just a regular kind of grim evening gem, I would have to say. So this one's probably the most somber, most of the beats on here. Most of these, like I Almost Got Away With It's a pretty peppy, wintry type one, and Bullet Makers is kind of a typical kind of haunting type one, but Sleepless Nights is really one that really feels bruised and brooding. It's definitely kind of depressive type beat that I really enjoyed, and just really has a lot of highlighted fare towards it. It's just an overall nice one. Is vintage kind of stuff that kind of goes along with some of these songs. Is vintage kind of stuff that kind of goes along with some of these songs. And the hook on Sleepless Nights is pretty good. I don't know. The hook on Sleepless Nights is pretty dope also. I don't know who Tangeray Loke is, but they did a pretty good job with how that kind of happens. So it's a good bop as far as that kind of goes. Definitely kind of more one. This is a brooding kind of one, but it's also kind of a peppy type one that kind of has a little bit of like this kind of horrorcore kind of like contemporary type feel about it. It's a little bit of horrorcore contemporary type feel about it, which is pretty dope. And then Dracula, the last one I recommend. And then Dracula, the last song I recommend, is a pretty nice one on here. This is very much a vampiric type tune, I would have to say. It's ominous and contemplative, I would have to say, and it's just a great dark and bruised kind of pizzazz of a song, I would have to say. So this is just an overall highlight. And this all these productions on here are just excellent. This is just some really bruised ones. I kind of feel like Dracula is pretty similar to Bullet Maker, just that same kind of bruised type of feel, where I feel like Sleepless Nights is probably the most brooding and bruised type one, but this one's definitely kind of has like an ominous. I feel like Dracula is a little bit more shrill than Sleepless Nights, but it's not quite as like frenetic as like Bullet Maker. So it's just kind of in between. But all of these are just like a real good shot in the arm of just haunted music. This works perfect for winter. This EP just works perfect for winter, works perfect for autumn. This is some real kind of biting cold type vibes to kind of have just around the holiday season and just the wintry months of the year, just in the end of the year and the very beginning of the year, as far as that kind of goes. Just some real highlighted stuff. So basically me liking 4 songs out of 5 on. So basically me recommending 4 songs out of 5 on this project. I'm going to go ahead and give this EP like a 9 out of 10. It's really that good. It just has so much quality on here. This is just really through the works kind of, I would say, it's not really run of the mill Brotha Lynch, but it's just kind of factory, just in the sense that you just know it's going to be good and it delivers on that promise, and it just basically is good. And that's just the whole concept about it. It's just another stock kind of hit Brotha Lynch album that kicks ass and just has a lot of appeal about it. So it gets a 9 out of 10. The social score, I'm going to go ahead and give the social score like a 9.5 out of 10. I would almost give it a 10. The only reason why I wouldn't give it a 10 is just because it doesn't have a single, and I just don't know if it had any music videos or promotion for it. But it basically has some pretty litty type stuff, just some easy kind of highlighted nights just for winter and autumn. I definitely feel like this, more so than previous Brotha Lynch albums I've noticed, I definitely feel like this particular project just really has a wintry type feel about it. So definitely if it's like November, late November, December, January, something like that, this just fits in perfectly with that sort of fold as far as that kind of goes. So the social score gets a 9.5 out of 10. The only reason why it doesn't get a 10 is just because it just didn't have a single or much promotion. But other than that, it's just basically a huge highlight. So in terms of the future, once again, Brotha Lynch has put out a number of projects, so there's a lot more to kind of get to and such. I think he's kind of working on Season of the Sickness too and stuff like that. He has put out like collaboration albums and EPs and stuff like that. So I just would look around and hopefully he puts out some more projects. But this is definitely a pretty excellent one to kind of have around the cold times of the year and just some overall demonic kind of horrific highlights, I would have to say.